Live from New York City, it's Wendy Williams. Today, Gina Gershon dishes about her new Lifetime movie, House of Versace. Plus, Chef Ingrid Hoffman treats Wendy to some tasty Latin delight. And all the latest juicy hot topics. Now, here's Wendy.
Appreciate it. How you doing? I'm doing okay, you know. I'm here where I love to be with you. We've got a great show planned. Have you heard about Kanye West lashing out at the paparazzi? Whoa. Okay, have you heard about Janet Jackson and the big plans she has for her future? Whoa. Did you watch The Real Housewives of New Jersey last night? Then we've got a lot to talk about. It's time for Hot Topics. Antoine worked on this one over the weekend. It's my first time wearing it. I love this. This happens to be from my own hairline. You know, I have Wendy Williams Hair World, and so, but no wig is always great when you take it out of the box. If you're a real wiggy, you're always doing something to it. Coloring the front, deepening the roots. Anyway, I have something really exciting to share with you a little bit later on in the show, or in the week. You see, my 1 hour TV Guide network, they call it TVGN network, special airs on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. And here's the thing. The whole time while I was preparing myself to play on Broadway in Chicago, there were cameras following me as I prepped. So that's what the 1 hour special is about. And later, I think tomorrow we have the sneak, the little peek. Wednesday we'll show you a little clip of it. And then, hopefully I gave you everything that you watch reality for. No? They don't know it yet, Suzanne. Stop making them clap.
Oh, they're excited.
Excited. I was gonna tell them what you watch reality for. Don't you watch it for the tears and the laughter? Yes. And the poom poom shorts? That's all I'm saying. All right, so Kanye West is at it again. Have you heard about this thing that went down with he and Jimmy Kimmel? Okay, well, Jimmy Kimmel, made fun of an interview that Kanye West did on the BBC earlier in the week. Well, the interview was Kanye talking his usual thing about how he's the greatest of all time, no one ever comes near him as far as talent, and he's the rock star of rocks. You know, he's like a real big on himself. So, Kanye then went off on Jimmy on Twitter for approximately 1 hour. And here are just a couple of the things that Kanye said. I don't know why he just can't back away from social media. Jimmy Kimmel, I don't take it as a joke. You don't have scumbags hopping over your fence trying to take pictures of your daughter. And should I do a spoof about your face or you bleeping Ben Affleck? Hashtag no disrespect Ben Affleck. Hashtag all disrespect Jimmy Kimmel. Well, I must say, you know, Kanye, and a lot of celebrities, one of the worst things you can do is go after a late night talk show host because all they will do is rip you a new one in their opening monologue. The rules, the unsaid rules of late night TV is that they go in a lot harder than daytime talk show hosts could ever. So Kanye, they make fun of presidents, and they make fun of A-list actors, and they make fun of musicians, and they make fun of you. You shouldn't be such a sore recipient of attention. After all, isn't that what you want? Well, anyway, that wasn't the end of Kanye's tirade. Apparently, he went off on the paparazzi outside his house. It was all caught on tape. We've got a little excerpt to show you, and then we'll talk about it. Just take a look.
It's 4 a.m. and you ask me how it's going. You know I don't want you to say nothing to me. You hear what I'm saying? Respect that.
Relax.
Now,
Come on.
what you mean relax?
Relax, I did nothing to you.
What you mean?
I'm just.
What you mean relax?
Hey,
We're in the street, man.
You gonna hit
We
me?
don't
I
need
don't
to
did
fight,
nothing to you, man.
We don't want to fight. We're in the street.
Come on,
I'm
Kanye.
gonna change all this.
Come on, Kanye. You know we like you.
Shut the f
You left
up. It's
the.
4 a.m., you blood-sucking mosquito.
For that, I'm Team Kanye. You know, I mean, the paparazzi, they were all up on the driveway. Although I'm surprised, you know what, Kanye and Kim, if you all like your privacy so much as you say you do, then why would you live in a house next to the street as opposed to an estate with rolling hills and a long driveway? Number one. And I know that, like, out in California particularly, that's how a lot of the houses come. You can have a $5 million home, but it's literally like up on the street. The car that he was getting into was a $750,000 Lamborghini something or another that Kim gave him for his birthday. And they apparently were on their way to the airport to go to Paris. More in the clip, you'll see Kim comes outside, but she's like in sweats and it's really dark. But she comes outside and checks to see what's going on, and then she goes back inside. You know, Kanye, if you don't want to live in a rolling hill behind a big gate so paparazzi can't get you like that, then why don't you just move to Jersey? And I'm going to tell you why. No, seriously, you know, California, LA, New York, same thing as far as, you know, the hub of everything in the universe, you know what I mean? In Jersey, plenty of famous people live in Jersey. You never hear about paparazzi rolling up on them at their houses and all that other kind of stuff. I mean, if you really don't want the attention, then do something about it. That's all. And as a side note, Kanye and Kim were in Paris over the weekend. It's not funny, rich people just Paris over the weekend. What is that, like an 8-hour flight? Oh my gosh, just the popping of the ears alone, you know? Anyway, Kim is showing off, here she is, her new post-baby body in that terrible dress. The dress, I'm sorry, Kim, that blonde hair, and this is not the Kim that we know, is it? This is my opinion. All right, well, the dress is made by the same guy who made her that couch dress for the Met Awards, or the Met Gala. Yeah. He's got it in for her. Anyway, the black dress and this dress are made by a designer for Givenchy named Riccardo Tisci. He's a very good friend of Kanye's. I didn't say a word. But Kanye, there he is, never looking happy. There's Kim looking down. It's just all so sad for North. 2 unhappy parents. One is out of his mind, and then the other one is going out of her mind trying to please him and that mother. It's terrible. Anyway, in more Kardashian news, Lamar Odom is not happy with his father speaking out. Do you remember last week we were talking to you about Joe Odom blasting Khloe Kardashian? That is not Gandhi, that is Joe Odom. Blasting Khloe Kardashian and her family in an interview on RadarOnline.com. Basically, Joe was saying that it's the Kardashians' fault that his son Lamar is in a bad state right now regarding drugs. Well, according to TMZ, Lamar was so angry at his dad's comments that he's done, according to them, paying Joe's $2,900 per month rent. I don't believe that Lamar's just gonna leave his father hanging out there to dry, but I do believe, old man, that this is well, not old man, because he's only 59. I know, that's bad, right? Leave those drugs alone, though. Anyway, I don't believe that he's gonna leave his dad, out to dry. I think that he might just skip rent for 1 month or 2 months and then go back to paying. Lamar and Khloe, you know, celebrated their 4th wedding anniversary on Friday. And remember, we were talking on Friday about if he hasn't given her a sign that he wants to clean up his act regarding the alleged drugs and everything, then she wanted to divorce him, and he only had until midnight on their anniversary night, which was Friday. So I'm watching the clock the whole time. I'm checking the computer the whole time. I'm calling Hot Topics, seeing what's going on. Finally, we all found out that what Khloe did was drop Lamar's last name from her Twitter, which is gigantic. because, you know, she was Khloe Kardashian Odom or Khloe Odom or whatever it was, Odom was included. So that's a big deal for Khloe to drop the last name. It's like a big deal for certain women who wear their wedding rings when they don't wear their wedding ring. Like, I went this weekend to see my friend Trisha Yearwood down south, and no, not clap, clap. By the time I got to the airport and it was too lazy to turn around, I realized that I forgot my wedding set. I know! Which is a big, giant deal for me. Like, I'm the wedding ring wearer. I'm the wedding ring wearer. I just feel as though, you know, I wanted it enough. I fight hard enough for it, you know, so I am that girl, whatever. So I could not turn around. I was disgusted and distracted the whole flight down south. As soon as we got there, I had to stop at the store. I was just like, what am I going to do? I got a Sharpie. And I made the Sharpie wedding thing. And this is convincing me even more that I want to get the wedding ring tattoo. And then I get to Trisha's house, because, you know, we taped an episode of her, Trisha's Southern Kitchen. But aside from that, Trisha and I are the same age. You know, she's married to Garth. We both have children. She shares my views on not just being married, but wearing the wedding set. So Trisha goes to me, Wendy, you want to drive to Kohl's, you know, and just pick up a little. No, because she knew, nobody's going to invest something quickly. I was only down there for 2 days, you know, so I wasn't going to make an investment, but she got what I meant. And then she said, well, do you want to borrow a ring from, you know, one of the people here on the set? I was like, no, Trisha, let me just stew in this myself. So when that episode does air, you'll see me with a Sharpie around my finger, and I couldn't wait to get back to Jersey to put on my wedding set. But I say all that to say, so it is a big deal for Khloe to drop Odom from her Twitter, just like it's a big deal if you ever see me without my ring. Unless I have an excuse, you know, dun, 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 dun. And my episode with Trisha airs in the fall, later on in the fall, yeah. So now, okay. Eva Longoria says that she'll never get married again. You know, why do people have to make these kind of proclamations? Because you know you can never say never. And then especially when you're a celebrity and you never say never, even if you're a regular person, when you say something, all your friends then get after you. I thought you said you weren't gonna get married again. Or, I thought you said you weren't gonna diet anymore. Anyway, so in a recent interview, Eva says, I've been married twice, been there, done that. Well, there's always a third time. I like the idea of being married. I'd say keep getting married until you get it right. You know, if you're the marrying type, then there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it becomes expensive though. But aside from that, Eva's 38, and she's divorced from her first husband, a fellow by the name of Tyler Christopher. They divorced in 2004. He was a soap star. Remember, she was a soap star at one point in her life as well. And then she married the NBA player Tony Parker, but they got their divorce in 2011. Now, she hasn't had any children, and like I said, she's 38 years old. She also talked about children. She said, children are made out of love, and I can give you her exact quote. I just say never. She's probably saying this because she's single right now. And the holidays are coming. And nobody likes to be alone. Anyway, she says, I'm not one of those women who are like, I must procreate. I think kids are a product of love. So if you find the right person and you want to have a family with that person, then that's when the time is right. But if I'm 50 and single, I'm not going to do it to myself. Well, you won't be able to do it to yourself. Those eggs will be rotten. All right, so there she goes talking. Now we're gonna be watching to see if you get married again. Speaking of older women that wanna become moms, Janet Jackson. Do you picture Janet being a mom? Walking in the park, putting on the onesies, playing on the floor, burping, me neither. But according to the New York Post, Janet, who's 47, and her billionaire husband, Wasim Al-Mana, are looking to adopt. I'm almost shocked, you know, to the best of our recollection, and we've done some searching, Wasim does not have children. Now, when you're regular, like me and you know, you don't have to pass on an heir, you know, because our parents didn't leave us anything, and it is what it is. However, don't you picture that if a boy is a billionaire and he comes from a billionaire, family, that he's obligated to at least birth an heir from his loins first before. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. You know how some rich people are. They, like adopting is fine after you have the ones from the loins. But this guy, Wasim, doesn't have any children. So Janet reportedly, and Wasim, they want to adopt at least 2 children. 2 children. From where? You know it's not from this country. You know how these celebrities do, which is really unfortunate. And you know that the baby's not going to be black, because you know how some black people do, always trying to escape the blackness. Anyway, 2 children from Jordan and Syria. Why wouldn't she adopt from Gary, Indiana, where she's from? Or Detroit or Chicago or Asbury Park or something like that? All the stuff going on in the world, and our government's about to close down tomorrow. Detroit is still bad, and nobody wants our kids. Thanks, Janet. I'm just saying. Kelly Rowland was here in June. Rowland, she's one of my favorite people. And she's so pretty, and I always say that. Well, she was very honest with us about getting breast implants. Not that she could be dishonest, because if you've ever seen a picture of her before, it's clear that she had something, okay? That's all. But she reveals to Shape magazine that she waited before going under the knife. She says that she wanted implants when she was 18 years old, but that Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mom, convinced her to wait. Probably wait until after my daughter gets her tune-up. My daughter's the most beautiful girl in the land, Kelly, you wait. But Kelly said that before she got her breast implants that she used to wear bra pads to see what the feeling was like before the surgery of her breast. And possibly her nose, but she didn't talk about that. She's a very pretty woman. I wore the chicken cutlets also. Yeah, these are breast implants for those of you who are new to the show. How you doing? The breast implants. I'm already a large frame woman. I just wanted breasts to kind of round everything out. I got them back in 1994. I saved for like 4 years to get them. It didn't just, jump off a cliff, and I didn't mortgage the farm for them like a lot of people do. No, because a lot of girls, you're so desperate to get plastic surgery that you're taking out credit cards with high interest rates and all that stuff. Plastic surgery is a luxury, not a necessity. But I had a floppy A and a fatty B. A lot of women are uneven, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Particularly if you're a fleshy girl, then, a lot of it is fat to begin with. And so then I went up to a double D. Although I've been told a double F. But no, how they look at these horizontal stripes? A double mess? I don't know. I like the dress. I wanted to wear it. Anyway, thank you for being honest with us, Kelly Rowland. And for you girls who do want to get any kind of surgery, I would suggest that you practice wearing some cutlets also, before, and really, really think about it. And then, don't mortgage the farm. All right, so now, we love The Big Bang Theory. It stars one of my favorite people, Kaylee Cuoco. She's 27 years old and she moves fast in her relationships, even by Hollywood standards. Well, she was in this highly publicized relationship with this fella named Henry Cavill, and that was back in July. He plays Superman. Well, they were in that relationship for 2 weeks and then split up. But in the meantime, while they were in the relationship, you heard something new about it every day. Well, according to Us Weekly magazine, Kaylee is now engaged to tennis star Ryan Sweeting, and he's 26, after dating him for less than 3 months. This is not good, and if you haven't learned from Chloe and Lamar and that 30-day courtship to marriage, then I don't know what it will take. You've got to get to know the person that you're marrying, demons and all. Look at our Chloe now. But good luck, Kaylee. Oh, keep clapping. We've got a great show for you. She's starring as Donatella in the new movie House of Versace. Our very good friend, the very hot Gina Gershon is here. Plus, we've got celebrity chef Ingrid Hoffman, who's gonna cook up some mouth-watering Latin recipes. But up next, I'm gonna break down last night's reality TV, so don't miss it. From the finale to the sit-down interview with Teresa and Joe, last night was all about the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So it's time for Reality Check, Housewives Edition. Okay. So last week, Teresa and Melissa confronted their family friend Penny for spreading rumors. Last night, Penny's desperate for attention husband, Johnny the Greek, showed up and got all involved, and then things got physical. Take a look.
Are you kidding me? I told you stuff about my parents?
Yes, you told me.
What the f? You point at my sister. What do you want to know?
How did you get the information?
I don't know.
Just say it! Raise your
Somebody's
getting loud with me.
What's going on? No!
Oh my God.
Wife, mother. That's my wife. He's disgusting. He's an animal.
Okay. First, I'm not a fan of Johnny the Greek or Penny. I mean, I was a fan of Penny last week because it seemed like she was really telling the truth and stirring the pot. But all of a sudden, when Johnny the Greek entered, I said to myself, oh my gosh, Bravo. You are not possibly thinking of adding these people as regular cast members. Penny's not gonna hold the apple, is she? Or the diamond, or whatever Jersey holds it. I hope not, I hope not. And I'm not a fan of her husband's. And the reason that we didn't see the fight, allegedly, you know, because we saw a whole bunch of cursing and the cameras tilting, and, you know, there was a time in Housewives history where we would have seen them thumping. But the reason that we didn't, allegedly, is because Johnny the Greek now has lawsuits against just about every guy and Jacqueline Loretta that was in that clip, except for Joe, because Juicy Joe was already in trouble, so he and Teresa knew to stay off to the side. But they were all fighting. And one of the things that this Johnny the Greek has done, according to the Lorettas, Jacqueline and her husband, Hot Chris, is this guy has gone on Twitter and said that they are faking their son's autism for attention, which is like a rotten thing to say. And I just, ew, ew, ew. Anyway, by the way, In Touch magazine is reporting that Caroline Manzo will be replaced by her sister Dina Manzo next season. Okay, there's only 3 people that clapped, and they did it low before I gave them the signal that they can come high. Okay, but this is why I'm clapping high for this. This could be really good because, well, you know, Dina still doesn't. Gorgeous, gorgeous. But you know, she was always so quiet and so nice and so pleasant, and those aren't the things that we watch Housewives for, except we've got to get to the bottom of why Dina does not talk to her siblings. Because last night during the finale, Chris intimated that he also doesn't talk to his sister Dina. What could you possibly not be talking to her about? And then I remember reading that remember when Dina left the Housewives on account of boredom? And I think she left on her own, actually. And she got that special on HGTV where she was like a party planner. Well, according to what I was hearing, allegedly, Dina is mad at her siblings, particularly Caroline, because Caroline didn't support her HGTV project. But neither did any of us. Did you watch it? Me neither. But I'll take her back on Housewives. Anything is better than the Manzos. In the name of love, Caroline and her family are going to be leaving. Anyway, after the finale, Teresa and Joe sat down with Andy for an interview that should never have been done. It should never have been done. If you really care, if you really know what's going on, then you should get off reality TV, and that includes that interview. As you know, they were indicted for tax fraud, and they each face 50 years in prison. Tina and Joe didn't seem to have a grasp on any reality of their situation last night. Take a look at a small port. Go ahead.
When I heard that these charges carry a maximum of 50 years in prison.
I thought it was 100.
Is it 100?
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
well,
I don't know, I'm not sure. I think it was, I don't know. I think it was like 50 per, I don't even know.
For each?
For each or something.
Right.
No, it's 50 altogether, hon.
I don't know.
I mean, that's what they state in the magazines.
I don't know. So, I don't know.
So she gets her information where we get ours, magazines. You all are less than smart. You should not have done that reality show. But Teresa, nobody wears a pantsuit like you do, girlfriend. Work. The reunion airs on Sunday night on Bravo. Melissa and Joe Gorga will be here on our show on Friday. You keep it where you got it. Up next, she's starring as Donatella Versace in the new Lifetime movie, House of Versace, Gina Gershon. She's next. Iconic Donatella Versace in the new Lifetime movie. It's called House of Versace. Take a look.
Your company is going to collapse if massive changes aren't made. For that to happen, you're going to be on a very, very short leash.
I still control Allegra's 50% and my 20%. So if you want to put me on a leash, it better be diamond studded or you can kiss my ass.
Listen, for once, 70% of nothing is nothing. The only marketable asset left is the Versace name.
I am Versace.
Please welcome the very hot Gina Gershon. Yeah. Welcome back. You look pretty. Look at you. Yeah. It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Young and sexy.
Same with you.
Uh-huh.
You're looking good.
Is it true that you just came back from Paris?
Yes, last night, basically.
Did you see Kim and Kanye?
I did not.
No.
I didn't.
No, what were you doing there, if you don't mind us asking?
I snuck away to see my boyfriend.
I love that.
I know. It was, I was in the middle of doing the press, but I've been working and he's been working, and so we thought we would just meet in Paris for 4 days. I know, very romantic. Very nice.
Lovely.
I know, I didn't even realize it was Fashion Week when we said that we would meet, but then it was, so that was kind of fun.
Fashionable. You
Fashionable.
are Donatella. You do belong there.
It was very Donatella of me to go to Fashion Week.
Do you enjoy long distance relationships, or would you rather for you guys to be closer?
You know, I think it's, of course it's always sexy and it sounds so romantic to meet in different places. And, we live together here in New York, but, it's hard. I think as long as you don't go past 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But no, I mean, it's nice to have the everyday thing. Although, maybe there's something to be said about having a little distance as well.
Yeah. Keeps it fresh.
Keeps it fresh.
Well, congratulations on this role of Donatella Versace. I gotta tell you something.
Thank you.
The movie, as you know, is called House of Versace. Tell us about the movie and what part of her life are we going to be seeing?
We're seeing the part of her life. It's a Lifetime movie, so they are very keen on kind of redemption stories, and it's really about right before her brother died, Johnny, and she had everything on her shoulders. I don't think she was quite prepared for that. And she really went through a downward spiral. She, went through a drug problem.
And then her daughter also. Do we see the daughter's drug problem?
No, we don't deal with that at all, because I think there's certain things that we were being very respectful of, that Donatella didn't, want. So we don't, there's family issues, but we don't go there. And then she basically pulls herself up again, and she becomes this amazing person who she is. I really have so much respect for her with what she's done.
Did she co-sign on this movie? Was she a part of this movie in any way?
No. She, this is based on the book House of Versace, and I think Donatella, and I have to say, I would be the same. I think if there was going to be a story about your life, you'd want it to be like, some $90 million huge movie directed by Scorsese or something like that, And so I can't complain. Listen, I wish that were the case too. But I think that she had certain stipulations, but they kind of stayed away from it because it was based on the book.
Well, for a lot of us, we don't know anything about her other than a label, on some clothes. So anything that we learn from this movie is going to be juicy and great.
You learn everything. One of the reasons, when I first got this, I was a little bit hesitant because she's such a iconic figure and so larger than life. And everyone has, she has the hair and the attitude and these extravagant parties. But what you learn, when I read the script, there was so much about her that I didn't know, and what she went through. Well, you'll have to watch the movie. No, but just the family ties and how she got to where she is today. I really have so much respect for her. There's a lot. Everyone always they kind of focus on, everyone's asked me, oh, the transformation, the way she looks, and I really hope people come away from this with a huge respect for what she does and how she did it, because she's incredible.
The clip that we saw right before you came out here, it looked like the House of Versace might have been in like big financial trouble at the time of Gianni's death.
Yeah.
I mean, were they on the brink?
I don't think it was, at the time of Gianni's death, it wasn't. But, you know, listen, after 9/11, luxury items went way down.
Right.
She also was thrust into this position that she wasn't really equipped to do, to run this house that wasn't really, you know, she was always a stylist and she was always zhuzhing things and she was very good and she wanted to do, I think, her own line, but her taste was slightly different than Johnny's, her vibe. You know, the DNA and all that stuff is, of course, there, but to all of a sudden have this on your shoulders, fashion designers work harder than anyone I know. I mean, I have a lot of friends who do this, and I know, you know, a lot of people in what you do, they work like crazy. It's impossible what they do, and to do it as well as they do, and stepping into someone's footsteps like Gianni, who's such a genius.
Yeah.
But she really came out finding her own voice, which is huge.
She did a great job, yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's
Now,
an amazing woman.
It clearly looks like Donatella has had a lot of surgery. And while you have the lips, and I know your lips are natural, is there anything that you had to do in particular, whether it's the voice? I know I've seen in paparazzi shots that she smokes. Do you smoke? Did the voice?
Honey, she smokes. I've never met her, but I have so much respect for her. I wish she didn't smoke as much.
How much was she smoking?
Well, you know, every scene, you know, she smokes. The lady smokes a lot.
What about the lips? Because that's good. Did you have to do anything?
You know, you know, when you change your face, I had to change everything. You know, our cheekbones are kind of in different places. You know, her face is wider than mine, so yeah, I didn't do that.
But no, it's an excellent transformation.
No, you know, you do lighting and thank you.
It's an excellent transformation.
Movie magic, you know?
Yeah, and you know what? And watch it with a snack. Thanks for stopping by. The movie's called House of Versace, and it airs Saturday night at 8 on Lifetime. Thank you, Gina Gershon. Up next, everybody, celebrity chef Ingrid Hoffman is here with some tasty Latin dishes. Keep it here. Spicy food, so here to show us a healthy twist on some of our favorite Latin dishes, welcome author of Latin Delight and the host of the cooking channel show, Simply Delicioso. Please welcome back to our show our friend Ingrid Hoffman. Hi, Ingrid. Good to see you again.
Great being here.
Okay, Latin food is my favorite food group, and so what are we going to make today?
My favorite food group. We're gonna make enchiladas a lighter weight. I don't like thinking of diet because that means I'm gonna go off the deep end, so I might as well flavor my food but make it a lot lighter. So we're gonna do the chicken enchiladas. We're gonna make a quick salsa verde. This is tomatillos, which is actually not a green tomato. It looks like one. I'll show you what it looks like. Look, you can peel the little skin. It's from the gooseberry family. We're gonna do a little bit of green pepper.
Do they sell this in every grocery store?
Nowadays, you're starting to see them more and more and more.
Isn't that
now, if
interesting?
you want a real quick shortcut, just get salsa verde at the market. I prefer to make mine.
Come on now.
I'll tell you why I prefer to make mine. No chemicals, preservatives, or additives. So, and I make huge batches. This is great. It's all vegetable-based. That's cilantro. Little bit of chicken stock. That way you can put it on top of anything.
Is this the outcome right here?
That is the outcome. We're gonna do a quick zip. That's it. But since we're already prepared, now what I also previously did, hold on, we're not there yet. Don't eat the sauce yet. I'm gonna make it delicious for you. What do you think? Nice, huh?
Very nice.
Tarty and sweet a little bit.
Yeah.
So we boiled some chicken in a little bit of water, which is the stock that I used to make the sauce with.
Boiled, great.
Boiled. Then all we did is we added some powders, magic powders. And I make my own adobo. It's a blend of salt, of parsley, cumin, achote, which comes from the annatto seed, oregano, onion, and pepper, and lemon peel. So we mix that all, boil the chicken in, pull it quickly, which is what we've got here. So we've got our chicken is pulled, which we have here, our green salsa, and now we're gonna give our little corn tortillas a little bath using my fingers.
Wow.
So you see, so far, everything is vegetable-based, really clean. I am going to put like a tablespoon or two of the chicken. Now, all we have to do is mix a little bit of sour cream. We're just using a tad. A little bit of Parmesan cheese in there. Now, as you see, the quantity is very little. So we are getting that creamy consistency, but instead of using a cup, we're only using a little bit, enough to give it that consistency. We roll these guys up beautifully.
All right, this is
with the seam to the bottom.
Okay, to the bottom.
Now we're gonna add the rest of the salsa here.
Okay.
Goes into the oven.
This is a great idea.
We're going to just cook it up for, broil it for about 3 minutes. You just want
And this is the final outcome?
cheese, and that's how it looks like in the end.
Okay.
Little bit of cheese right on top. We'll use some cilantro to garnish, and I think this is more or less done.
This is really good.
I am prepared.
This is really good. Thank you for this recipe. Now, what's next?
Now, we've got tostadas, black bean tostadas. We've got black beans in here, just cooked up with a little bit of red vinegar. We're gonna add some tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, a little bit of queso fresco blanco, white salty cheese. You can use feta. You can use any type of cheese that you like, a little bit of cilantro. Mix it up, and we've got nice tostadas, whole wheat. If you want to make it lighter, you can do some
really good
lettuce
idea.
cups. You like it?
Yeah, I do.
Lettuce cups could do also if you're being carb-free. Here you go, and yummy, delicious food, and it's all in my new book, Latin Delight. You look like you've been eating Latin.
I love food, but food is a sometimes thing. Thank you so much for these recipes. I'm going to taste this right here. Go to wendyshow.com if you would like to make these things. Thank you so much, Ingrid Hoffman, for being here. Up next, it's time for Ask Wendy. Keep it here. Welcome back. It's time for Ask Wendy. How you doing?
How you doing, Wendy? My name is Bernadette. How you doing?
Hi, Bernadette. Well, thanks.
Okay. I have a 3-year-old daughter who just started preschool, and she cries from like 8:30 to 3 o'clock when I pick her up. So I wanted to know, should I let her adjust or should I change schools?
Just started as in maybe a few weeks ago?
Like a month.
A month ago. I would wait until she adjusts. However, there's some things that I would do as a mother, like make sure she's not catching diaper rash. Is she crying because, she's not being changed properly? Is she not eating? Check to see that the lunch that you send with her is being eaten. I'd like to believe the best in preschool teachers and teachers of young kids like that. Unfortunately, I read too many books and watch too many Lifetime movies.
Exactly.
So you might want to have a conversation with the teachers as well.
Okay.
But it's a mother's instinct. Right now, my instinct is to say keep her there for another month because she's probably having separation anxiety.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thank
You're
you.
welcome, Bernadette.
Hi, Wendy.
How you doing?
How you doing? My name is Shannon. I've been dating my boyfriend for about a year now, and we're thinking about moving together in January. And we're wanting to get married at the end of next year. I'm 24 and he's 26, so I was wondering if you think we're too young?
Well, I think that you're too young to be getting married, but certainly not too young to be thinking about marriage. My bigger concern is I don't see an engagement ring on your finger. Now, if you're not the ring girl, we talked about being the ring girl before, then I get it.
Well, we're still working on careers. I'm still in grad school. He's in school for carpentry, so we're still trying to get our salaries together.
Okay, but you've only been together for a year, and you're moving together in January.
Yes.
Does he know that you're thinking about marriage like this?
Yes, we talked about it many times.
Okay, talked about it. So what's your question to me?
If we're too young.
Yes, you're too young to be getting married, but you're not too young to think about it. I prefer to see you, especially because you're a woman, I prefer to see you get your career started because, families do slow things down a bit.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah.
All right, good luck, young lady.
Thank you.
Everybody, up next, I need your help with a project I'm working on. I'll tell you about it right after the break. I wanted to tell you about something, and I need your help. I am almost finished writing my first romance novel. It'll be my 7th book, but it's my first time doing romance. And if I do say so myself, It's juicy. I spent the majority of the summer putting this together. All right, it's my heroine is a lawyer. She's very successful. Her name is Kimberly Kind. And it's set in New York, and she happens to be black, and she gets involved with a sexy bad boy named King. Picture Justin Timberlake swagger, Joe Manganiello good looks. All right, but he's bad to the bone, but sexy. So the book hits stores next year. I've done everything except for figure out a title for this book. Here's where I need your help. If your title is selected, I'm going to write your character into the book. And all you have to do is go to wendyshow.com to read a description of the book, and you get all the details, and then give me your best, okay? I'll announce the finalist in a few weeks, and then you at home will have your chance to vote on your favorite. So thanks in advance for your help, and we'll be right back. I had a blast. I want to thank my guests, Gina Gershon, also Ingrid Hoffman, and of course, my fabulous co-host, my studio audience. Wonderful, thank you. Tomorrow, the legendary Marie Osmond will be here, and we're gonna kick off Breast Cancer Awareness Month with a fabulous makeover on a breast cancer survivor. I love you for watching today, and I'll see you next time on Wendy. Bye-bye.